Round 58 begins in Fighting the FUD, guys. And this is basically a series we have going on since every other day, or it seems like nowadays every day there's more communities attacking us, especially the main one being the Bitcoin community and the Bitcoin maxis. So round 58 begins, and on this round we're going to KO the Bitcoin community because we're going to bring the facts here, and let's see what they have to say. First things first. This person says XRP is down 86% from its all-time high in 2018. It's unlikely to ever recover. Okay, so this is XRP versus Bitcoin from all-time high to today. But what he doesn't realize is if you clearly look at the charts, guys, okay, the Bitcoin maxis just love to pick and choose, right? And you know, it's every community that does this, right? So I'm not just attacking the Bitcoin folks. But everyone loves to manipulate data. If I wanted to be biased, I'll just crop out this area, guys, and remove this whole thing and just say, look, XRP versus Bitcoin, right? It's devouring Bitcoin right here. But it is, okay? It truly is. He's pointing out that from 2018, it has been going down, guys. XRP versus Bitcoin has been diving into hell. But if you guys realize the structure, a pump, consolidation, what's the next move? It's going to keep going higher, right? It is going to recover. That's just our belief. And if you look at the structure, it matches up perfectly. Now, they are so afraid of XRP that they won't even use the all-time high XRP versus Bitcoin chart. They need to manipulate the data because they hate the truth. The truth is, for the vast majority of XRP's history, you're better off buying XRP than Bitcoin. And here's the thing, guys. Someone may come out and be like, right, for Bitcoin's arguments, well, Bitcoin has rampaged way more than what XRP did, right, in terms of percentage. But here's my thing. Well, did you catch Bitcoin when it was at a penny? Right? You most likely didn't. So that's what I have to say for that. It's getting so crazy that for those wondering how Bitcoin has compared to XRP as an investment over a longer term, I've recalculated what MicroStrategy's portfolio would have looked like if they had invested that same dollar value in XRP versus Bitcoin from the same time frame. If Michael Saylor would have invested into XRP instead of Bitcoin, which is the orange dots, okay, his net worth would be doubled right here, right now, right? So it all depends, I guess. It all depends. Not to mention, you wouldn't have caught Bitcoin when it was under $10. You just wouldn't have, unless you got extremely lucky. And even then, if you did buy Bitcoin, you would have sold it for a 2x. Number two is this chart, right, which compares XRP to XRP against Bitcoin, guys, and we see the spikes. Every time we see these spikes, XRP devours Bitcoin. Okay, in holding wise, you would rather hold XRP than Bitcoin when you see these green candles appear. The reason I think it's like this is the people who control XRP don't want to give retail the chance to buy in, right? So they immediately exploded, guys. It's every time, even this cycle it happened, right? So that when the next pump happens, people are gonna get caught off guard, especially these Bitcoin maxis. But little do the Bitcoin maxis realize, right? Because they're so cute, is that they don't realize what's going on this XRP versus Bitcoin pairing. What do you guys notice on this chart? From Altcoin Gordon. XRP versus Bitcoin is about to smash through its 8-year resistance level. This is not just a random breakout, but a generational wealth opportunity. And guess what? The ETFs haven't been approved yet. Do you guys understand why? It's full-blown manipulation. They're going to tie everything together and make this thing literally rage on to its fullest potential. This is XRP versus Bitcoin on the 2-weekly chart. From 2017, the pattern began to present day. What pattern is this? This seems like a triangle, right? A bullish triangle. And if it breaks this area, which XRP is battling as we speak, right? Even though I think this was posted like a month ago, but still it's around this range, okay, guys? Because we haven't broken above this pivot right here. When XRP breaks this area, the target of this is, let's check. So here's a triangle. Don't mind the other lines, those were drawn like years ago. But if we take the measured move from the bottom, okay, of when the pattern was formed to the top, let's see, from the bottom is here to the top. I'll just measure it out, guys, right? And then the breakout point will be right here. By the way, it's battling it right now, right? There's so much resistance here. That's why it's having a hard time. And remember, this is XRP versus Bitcoin. So if this chart rises, it's basically devouring Bitcoin's ROI. Okay, which means you would rather hold XRP than Bitcoin. So the breakout or the target price would be all the way up here. Okay, guys. Wait, oops. Let me do this one more time. There it is. 56x. Okay, guys. About. So, but that's not even too crazy, because from the 2017 cycle, guys. Okay, from the tippity top point of the 2017 cycle, to the targets of this pattern, it's about a 6x. That's nothing, right? And I think it's possible, to be honest. If you think that's a crazy target, let's take a more conservative target then. Okay, from this low to this high, it'll be right at the previous all-time highs. So minimum, we're gonna go back to these levels, minimum, and that's where we're probably gonna go to the top, to the when the cycle tops next year, which is probably an insane number for XRP, guys. Okay, because we can't really calculate it because we don't know what or where Bitcoin's top out price will be. Okay, but I guess we could just speculate. Bitcoin at a mil, right? That's a 10x, and then you add the multiplier of the XRP versus Bitcoin pairing. But here we go. This is great news. Why would he say that right now as a lawsuit is dropped? Same reason inverse Kramer exists. So according to Raoul Pal, XRP is the moron trade, guys. Listen to this.
And the moron trade, which is always a good one, which is just buy the cheapest thing on the top 10.
The moron trade. I like that.
Look, look at it.
So basically, his example here is what the moron trade is that let's say you're somebody who's new to the crypto sphere, and then you go on CoinMarketCap, for example. You see all these coins, okay, from Bitcoin over 100k, Ethereum over $4,000, XRP will catch your eye, because you're gonna be like, wait, how come the Bitcoin and ETH are extremely expensive, but this other coin that's in the top 10 and rank number 3 is only $3, right? Which will then catch your eye. So he was saying that people who are basically moronic will be buying XRP or these cheap assets, right? In terms of price, guys, like Dogecoin 23 cents, and then Cardano like $1, right? Even Tron 35 cents. So that was his example here, because people are priced out of Bitcoin, Ethereum, but these other coins that aren't super high, they aren't priced out. Now, why is that a bad thing? It's not. That's only a bad thing if the technology of the coin is horrendous, right? And it's in the top 10 for no absolute reason. If the technology was superior to the other coins, for example XRP, you would honestly be very lucky, right, to buy it, even though you know nothing about it, and you bought it because it was at $3, right? And you're not priced out. Consider yourself lucky, but I wouldn't call that a moron trade, is my opinion, right? Now these other coins, perhaps, I guess it all depends on the technology side of the coin, right? So I guess it could be, and it at the same time can't be, depending on which coin you buy, right? Now Coffee and Chaos says XRP cannot hit $1,000. XRP physically can't hit $1,000. But I heard the same arguments for Bitcoin. I remember Bitcoin was at $10,000. Okay, and people were talking about it's gonna hit 100K, right? Even a million. I remember in that cycle of 2017 where Bitcoin was rising. Should I show you guys when? I'll show you guys actually. So I remember right here, guys. This is Bitcoin's chart on the weekly. Let's go all the way back to 2017. I knew about Bitcoin back here. I knew about Bitcoin, like right here, guys. Okay. And the way I learned about Bitcoin was playing a game, and people were talking, and they're like, "Oh, my friend just bought a car from Bitcoin," and that piqued my interest. I'm like, "Wait, what is that?" Right? Then I searched it up, and then I didn't buy. I was seeing a rise, guys, and somehow I stumbled upon XRP. I think around this region towards the top, and when Bitcoin went to like 10K, 20K, right? People were saying it's gonna fly to 100K, a million. I could remember clearly people were talking about $1 million or 100K minimum, right here, guys, right? Because the euphoria was so crazy. But if we fast forward, where are we at now? At 100K, over 100K. If we fast forward a little bit longer, a little bit later, will we be at $1 million? Okay. And then I bought XRP there, guys, and that was the start of my journey. Okay, so people have said this argument, or people have always said throughout time in the cryptosphere that a coin will never hit this price because it's just impossible. But it always has, unless it was a scam coin or something like that. But then she says, have you guys done any research, or are you just blindly buying coins expecting them to all 10x? 10x is nothing though. In the crypto market, I've witnessed coins that literally 100x, 1000x. That's nothing. And in this cycle, I believe it's going to be like that, 100 to 1000x. And then she says, if XRP were to hit $1,000, which is impossible, it would be like the global GDP, guys. And she says that $10 is max, and even then, it's going to take ages, right? But they will be selling at $5 or $10. Okay, but here's the thing, right? They talk about market cap. Why is market cap irrelevant? Because of the fact, from Chad, this is all it takes to move XRP by a cent. A cent is $1 billion in market cap. Okay, all this. How much is this? 2, 3, like 4, 5, like about 5 million or so, guys. Okay, like less than 10 million to move it by a cent. And remember, a cent here is $1 billion in market cap, right? So if XRP goes to $1,000, it doesn't mean like trillions of dollars will have to pour into XRP, right? Or so much money, because the market cap, it's not 1-to-1, guys. There's a multiplier on market cap, which then therefore makes market cap irrelevant. Okay, this is why market cap matters not in the crypto market. Maybe for stocks it does, but I don't know about stocks at all, right? So I can't talk about stocks. So this is clear as day that people probably don't know what they're talking about. And yeah, I'm not here to bash anyone, but I've been seeing a lot of FUD towards XRP recently. I'm not kidding. It's like every day on Twitter. So we'll see what happens, but I wouldn't get FUDded out. Do not sell. This isn't financial advice. It's all your choice at the end of the day. But anyways, that's Sophie's Mesias. See ya.